love working with silk because it comes in so many varieties, and depending on the weave, on what country it's come from, it can be thin, it can be thick, it can be jacquard. I am Jane and I'm the designer behind Olivia Bea Designs. My mother was a very stylish lady, always had a creative flair. She went off to Ascot and she went to balls, so she had all the clothes that went through that. And all the hats, I loved the hats. My sister was another source of inspiration, and I remember going to see her dance, and I loved her dresses, and I used to love going and looking in her wardrobe at the different textiles and the different textures and just touching them. She left to be a ballet dancer, and I continued enjoying all the inspiration she'd left behind. And that inspired me to do and create my own fabrics, and I've always loved that too. My father would have to babysit me. I used to be left with him, but into that I used to watch him restore antiques, and I grew up with all the textiles for that. And inevitably I sat and I would create my own bits of furniture out of blocks of wood. He was very good. He'd let me play with all sorts of bits of cloth that he'd left over from these wonderful things he was creating. Using a Singer sewing machine was absolutely wonderful because it opened up a whole world of creativity to me. It had a lot of adaptations to it. You could do all sorts of things like white work and embroidery with it. I used to sometimes have to stand up to use the treadle. By the time I was 12, I could use it proficiently, and by the time I was 14 I was doing all sorts of things with it, and eventually got to City and Guilds and did formal training with pattern cutting and designing, and then I followed my heart really and went off to St Martin's and London School of Fashion to do garment making and designing. I still have students that come back to me because I took over from my teacher as a teacher of that course, and I then went on to teach for another 18 years. You can't put a price on that level of inspiration. In those days, City and Guilds would only give out 1 or 2 medals of excellence, and I won the Medal of Excellence against 32,000 people. And I also had quite a few people who were with me in my teaching areas that said, I wish you'd go away and do your own business because we like to buy what you make. Today, I take commissions designing garments, pattern cutting, millinery and accessories. Making these products into stylish garments that fit perfectly is a passion of mine. I prefer to meet people in their own environment and they can show me their own style and engage with their own ideas and colours. It allows me to develop their own personality into their clothes and garments. After this, I sketch out things. I then go to colours and styles. After that, we work together to produce the garment. I like creating individual garments for the individual.